gonna go on my Facebook and say,
just turned them on.
hey.
Oh, we're on?
We got where I got the delay, maybe. The delay is still going. So
Yeah.
we don't know.
There's always a couple second delay.
Yeah.
Robot and the bear. Robot and the bear. Episode 34 with Eric Nakamura and Luke Chu and Ben Goretsky,
That's me.
a.k.a. Designer Con 3D Retro.
AKA.
So we're live.
Yay.
Yeah, we're live. Robot and the Bear, episode number 34.
Yes.
And we're in the office, an office.
Whose
Whose
phone?
is that? Oh, my
Luke.
God.
Sorry, I'm turning off the sound.
Ruin the momentum. So which office are we in? That's a good question.
We are in the, we're technically in the offices of Designer Con and 3D Retro and my other company, USA ePay, and we're actually using the CTO's office right now.
Wow.
Because
That is the Chief Technology Officer for all of you at home.
yes.
Because you don't know what CTO means. That's
I had no idea what a CTO is.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
And
Because I'm a genius.
he was nice enough to loan us his office and let us use it for recording. Because
Yes.
mine's a complete and utter mess.
Oh, but it's an amazing mess.
Thank you.
An amazing
Appreciate that.
mess. Yes. So, again, we have guest Ben Goretsky. He is the owner of both 3D Retro, the last standing art toy store in Southern California.
As Eric is sitting right there.
We're not quite.
No.
Yours is specific, man.
Yeah,
it's
no.
kind of amazing.
No, Eric
Yeah.
is like an art bookstore with some tchotchkes.
Yeah, but right before we started this, Eric reminded me that how amazing or how long his store has been involved.
Yes, but the thing is, the art toy thing has died, and he let it die. Meanwhile,
You are a smart man, Eric.
You are holding the flame.
Actually, you're the smart man because there was a thing called USA ePay that you do as a day job, which was probably a good way to go rather than just diving into toys and calling that your career.
It does pay the bills.
Yeah, can you before we get way into it, can you talk to us just a little bit about USA ePay?
Yeah.
mean, it doesn't have to be a commercial or anything. But
No.
yeah.
It's a company that's I started with my brother 21 years ago, so we've been doing this for a while. But just the gist of it, we're a credit card processing company. But so basically, as a credit card processor, like what does that mean? If you are a business and you're using either a credit card terminal or you're using a shopping cart or you're using your mobile phone these days, you have to have one of our companies, which is called a payment gateway, in the background to process it. And we're one of those companies. We service over 100,000 merchants nationwide right now. And it pays the bills. Thanks.
So
Cool.
you did this before internet then, right?
We did
21 years ago.
We did it just as we were one of the very, very, very first payment gateways. Because I remember back in '96, before this company, I went to Internet World, and that's when we came up with the idea of what was called real-time credit card processing, which was like the idea that somebody puts in a credit card on their website or on your website, whatever the company is, and you push a button and it processes it right away. Instead of like, hey, if you want to order this, call this number and we'll take your credit card over the phone. So we were like one of the first ones to do it, and it like blew people away. But the company that we did it with back in '96, there were other partners involved. So in '98, my brother and I were like, screw this, we're going to go do it ourselves. And out came USA ePay.
Wow. So I think giantrobot.com, we had credit card processing somewhere like in 96, 97, around
Yeah.
there. We actually had it.
So probably one
Yeah.
of the first ones.
Very, very early.
Yeah.
It's
And it was
very-
like us and AuthorizeNet. That was it.
Authorized Net. That's who we used.
You used our competitor.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. But I
It
remember
literally
like,
was Authorized Net. Yes. that
but
was
we
it.
were processing for people like Coop back in like his very first store, Coop, and like Shag.
Oh man, where were you? We needed you badly. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
We
You
were
know?
here. We were local.
We needed your help, man. We were suffering at that time.
Well, we can still help. We're still
Yeah.
around, and we got
All right.
a lot of more cool stuff. So it's all good.
Nice.
But enough about that.
yeah,
Yes,
but
yes.
I love talking about that. I don't know why.
Let's go.
Credit card processing. I love it.
let's dive into top fives. Did you get my message about top?
I got your message about top. I don't know top five. Top five what?
top five.
How about? Well, we could just give them one. Top.
Yeah, give me one.
Well, what about top 5 best decon moments from your beginning of decon to now?
But,
Oh, okay.
Well, think about it while we review ours. You know, we usually do a top 5 every week kind of
Okay.
thing, you know, because we do it weekly. So it's like, all right, this week, these are the things that like made me like either super stoked or super like not stoked.
Sure,
You
sure.
know.
I can think of top 5 decon moments. I could do that.
Okay. So,
Or you could be the top 5 lowest decon moments. That might be even more fun. You know, that could be fun too.
yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
That's the good shit.
Let's keep it positive.
All right. So, shall I start this time, Eric, or do you want to start?
You must start.
What do you got?
Are you not even ready yet? You're not even ready yet. Okay.
Are people like watching and asking questions? By the way,
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah,
Oh, maybe. No, not yet.
okay, not yet. Come on and
people are usually kind of used to us coming on pretty late. You know,
we're way early, so
Yeah.
there's hardly. Yeah,
You
but it's
know.
okay.
but it doesn't matter.
People hop on.
Yeah.
nice.
So, okay. I'll start with I saw Parasite, the Korean movie that everyone's calling the best movie of the decade and all this other crap.
Never heard of it.
It's good.
Okay.
It's not the best movie of the decade. It's probably not even the best movie of the year. It's probably not even the best movie of the month.
Wow.
But it's really good.
Okay.
So it's Korean. It's this weird class war-ish kind of movie where like this really poor family, like slowly each family member starts getting hired into this rich family's, like not realizing that they're hiring an actual whole family, you know, and then like, you know, by act 3 shit goes crazy, you know, and yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I highly recommend it.
Is it subtitled or?
Yeah, it's subtitled.
Oh, okay.
I am not Korean, and I do not understand Korean.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they like
Maybe all Asians just-
subbed it or something like that,
yes.
or
It is subtitled.
dubbed it, or is the term? I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, that's by Bong Joon-ho, right? The
Yeah.
one who did, what was that movie? The monster one he did that people liked.
Oh, the one about the big old super pig thing animal.
Oh,
Is that-
that's Okja. He did that too,
Oh,
right?
I
but
get-
he also did that one that was like the creature from the ocean. It was like,
Oh yeah,
That's
like
him too.
all your favorite Korean Netflix films have
yeah, he's done
their
a lot.
science fiction show,
Yeah.
you know, are by him.
Yeah.
But this one is like pretty different because there's no CG creatures in it. So,
Oh.
you know. My number 2 is I saw the musician Richard Devine perform on Saturday. He is an experimental electronic musician. I've been following him since 1997, and he's still like going strong. And he's been doing this modular synth thing where like, you know, you see like those gigantic old style synths where you have wires plugged in all over the place. It's all analog, and it was a brutal a brutal show.
Okay.
You know,
Where'd you see him?
I saw him in this little like club in like just like near Koreatown. So yeah,
Is he famous? Like in that genre? I've never heard of him.
He's pretty popular in that genre, but like I could say this, Eric, you would definitely not like his music.
Is it like Japanese noise music or something? Like,
Almost, but more rhythmic.
oh.
You know.
Oh, that's horrible then. You gotta go to the extreme and just have noise, like static. I've seen Merzbow like
Merzbow, like
times. Yeah.
Masana and all
Sure.
that good stuff.
I've seen a lot of that.
Well,
and,
it's not like
flowed
that.
with it.
It's not like that white noisy, but it's very polyrhythmic. And,
come on. That's
I
for wimps.
doubt I would like that.
Yeah,
Sounds
no,
awful.
I do not see you liking it
No,
either.
probably
But
not.
it is my number 2.
Did you dance around? Like, what do you do?
I
Like,
bowed
take off
my
your shirt,
head.
take your shirt off and dance.
Yeah, you know, I buried my head in a speaker, took a fistful of ecstasy, and
Wow.
like, you know, called it
Oh.
a night.
Wow.
Nice.
No, we didn't do any of that.
Have you ever? So going to like rave time from a while ago. Have you ever seen people actually like they kind of climb into this weird space in a giant speaker?
Yeah,
I've seen people do that. Like, what are they doing?
They are like getting off on the bass.
Oh my god! And they're like in the speaker, literally inside.
Yeah,
of it.
there's the speaker humping. You know,
And then they go deaf the next day, or
yeah,
what?
yeah, you go deaf. You
I've
know.
seen that, and I'm like, what the
You
hell?
know,
Okay.
well, then you like also take your teddy bear pants, and like your teddy bear pants kind of block off enough of the sound to save just a certain portion of your hearing.
Oh no!
I have not.
You've
seen
never
this.
you've never went to raves like in the like back in the day?
I have been to one rave, and I was a vendor.
Okay, me too.
There you go.
Only reason why I know this, I sold water at a rave.
Oh, I wish I had sold water.
I sold water, and then like I walked around and like, what the fuck? And why is this guy inside the speaker and all the shit?
It was for 3D Retro. We were there selling toys.
Oh my god!
Oh.
And it was, I can tell you, it was called, they still throw it, I think. It's called Nocturnal Wonderland
Okay, I've heard of that one.
in San Bernardino. And we set up a tent, and we brought all kinds of blind boxes into it. We loaded up like a van, and we did not sell a damn thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then all the plush toys, one security guard came up to us and literally grabbed all the plush toys and said, "You're not allowed to sell these." And he just grabbed them and walked away. And we're like, what just happened?
Whoa!
And then everybody
my
would come up to
God.
us with in regards to the blind boxes, and they're like, "Are these candy?" And we're like, "No, they're not candy." And we would have made $1 million if we had sold candy.
You would have.
And-
You were selling candy or water.
Right.
Or glow shit.
And then I remember after we would tell them it's not candy, some people would say, "Well, is it okay if we just suck on them?" Oh. And we're like, "No, it's not recommended. These are like poison vinyl figures. Like, you're not supposed to put them in your mouth."
Whoa.
And then they're like, "Oh, okay." They were just so sad.
Wow.
And we're like, "Why are we here? This is awful." And I just remember like we were there until like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. We packed up everything back into the van. Nothing sold basically. And we're like, this was a waste of our time.
Wow!
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Defeated.
Defeated.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So my number 3 is the Joker movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. God damn it!
Oh, let's ruin it for him.
No.
Well,
Guess what?
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix
is the Joker?
is the Joker.
He's the Joker.
He's not Batman. He becomes Batman too.
No,
Okay.
but like
Yeah.
How did you have you not seen it yet?
We're doing the podcast right now. I was gonna go see it. So.
Oh,
No.
so it's our fault.
Yeah.
it's good. I walked away like totally stoked about it.
Yeah.
I
Like,
was
I've heard nothing but good stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, I was I walked out of there thinking like, wow, that was really good.
I'm gonna go kill someone.
But at the same time, it's too real.
Nah.
No, like like this could really happen.
You know what? The laughing thing is a real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the disease.
yeah. So
Oh, we ruined that.
Yeah, well,
well,
that's-
there goes
that-
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
The laughing thing? I don't even know what that
yeah,
is.
you'll
Never
see.
mind.
You'll
Never
see.
mind. We didn't say anything.
So somebody laughs in the Joker movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Should we say like spoiler alert? I mean, what if there's people watching?
Well,
and
no,
they're like,
but
like-
I don't think you're spoiling the movie. That I'm just hearing that
That
there's
he's-
laughter in it.
Yeah, there's laughter.
I'm not.
There's laughter. It's not a
Right,
spoilery thing.
right now, I'm sitting here going, well, okay. There's probably like anger too. So
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
anger.
There is anger, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
anger.
You're not
stuff.
spoiling it, yeah.
So it's not. It's not a spoil.
And is he an incel? Yes. Yeah, I'm right.
I
I'm just
I
making
would
that-
say
I'm-
he is an incel.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Oh,
I
okay.
figured that.
You know,
one out.
because like the incels are all up in his joint.
See, I figured so. Like this is
Oh,
all
yeah.
like what I can get from a trailer. So
Yeah. Oh, you just need to watch a trailer and you get the like he lives with his mom.
yeah, he's an incel. I got
you know,
it, man.
Yeah. So
there was a lot of
It's an incel movie.
fan theories that I read after the movie, and some of them I heard like, I like as I read, I'm like, wow, that could really be like his relationship with his mother, like certain things about that. Like we can't talk too much
No,
about it. 'cause
we'll
we're
talk
gonna-
about.
yeah,
we
we'll have
got
to
to
do
keep
this
on
later.
moving on.
All right, here we go.
Number 4,
Number 4.
Watchmen.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I saw
Wanted-
it.
I wanted to.
Why
but-
haven't you seen it?
Because it was like 2 days ago. It was you're talking about the HBO
Yeah,
one,
the
right?
HBO one.
I haven't seen it. I wanted to. I think I was just too tired on
It,
Sunday.
it's obviously like an offshoot from the movies. You know,
How close is it to the movie?
they reference all there's a quick scene where they show like a bunch of like kind of like drawings or of the characters, and they look more like the movie, the ones that as they were featured in the movies, like the old characters.
Is this pre or
it's
post?
It's post. Takes place in 2019.
Oh, so it's today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's happened, and Rorschach's dead, and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I don't. I mean, like, none of the movie characters have shown up yet.
Mm-hmm.
But like they do hint on what's his name, the blue guy, in a trailer.
Yeah, what's his name?
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr.
Yes,
Manhattan.
thank you.
They do for the second episode.
Have you
trailer.
seen The Boys?
Yes.
Yes.
I like The Boys.
Oh, I love The Boys.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by The Boys because I remember like the first like 15 minutes I was watching The Boys, like, oh, it kind of reminds me of The Watchmen.
Yeah.
And then like by the 20th minute, I was like, okay, this is nothing like The Watchmen.
Yeah, it's a lot more brutal. So, but it's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, like, yeah, I'm very interested in seeing how this series evolves.
All right, I'll have to watch.
And my number one,
That wasn't number one? Oh.
What is that?
it's my very first fucking bear brick.
Oh,
Compliments of Designer Con.
Look at you has a bear brick. Look at you has a bear brick. Yay!
Hey.
Applause, everyone.
Applause,
Wow.
yay! I'm so happy about this. This is the first time obviously I designed it, but
Right.
like, this is my first time like seeing it in the flesh, and I'm totally stoked about it. And we'll talk about this more as the show goes on.
Awesome.
Damn.
Very cool.
Very hot.
So
That's awesome. Yeah.
Eric.
I'm going to follow up with this really weak top five. No, I'm just kidding. So, number 5, a new album by The Muffs. Lead singer Kim Shattuck just passed away recently while she was ill with Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh, wow.
She actually made this album with her band, and all the way through, she even had like a person play guitar for her and all this kind of stuff. But she made this album, and she passed away, was it about 3 weeks ago? And the album just came out yesterday or day before yesterday. And awesome stuff. Really
Wow.
great. But it's one of those things that's so super heavy that she made this while she knew she was dying. So
wow.
that was her pact, was that she was going to finish this album. And
A lot of artists are doing that. Like, didn't David Bowie do that?
Yeah.
And what is it?
You're right. Yeah. David Bowie totally did that.
Yeah.
And I just know that was one of the, because I read an article that the drummer wrote and said that she knew that this was happening. She thought it was like carpal tunnel at first because her hands were starting to get weird. And then and they kept saying, it'll be fine. You're just going to we'll just get some therapy and work it out. And then she came back. I guess the story was that she went to a doctor, and it runs in their family. And then she found out it's ALS, right?
Oh, wow.
And then she knew, like, right there, oh my God, this is going to be bad. And then she said, the whole thing was she wanted to make that final album. So the final album just came out like 3 weeks after she passed away.
Nice.
Really sad stuff, but yeah, I just got the album.
Is it good?
Yes. Awesome.
I would hope so.
So you said Watchmen, so I'm going to take that out, but I'm going to replace it with Mr. Robot, which is a show I like.
Oh, final season.
Final season, yeah. And second episode. I missed the second one, but it just aired yesterday, I guess, or 2 days ago. And first episode was fun, and it's going to be a good season. So
How many seasons is it now?
5.
I think 5 or 6, 5.
Yeah.
5, yeah. So
I wanted to watch it. I never got into it. And then, like, by the next thing I know, it was like already second or third season. I'm like,
That's a fun show.
Yeah, I've only watched like 1 or 2 episodes, and I liked it. Or maybe I've seen the first season. I don't remember, but like, I kind of need to like get back on that.
Yeah,
So.
awesome stuff. Okay, so number 3, I just was starting to look for photos because I actually photographed a lot of bands and stuff long ago. So I have a few negatives missing. So I started looking for it, and I got really excited that I found a magazine that I shot photos of the staff of id or ID, the software company. So it was during their making of Doom 2. and so this is like 93 or 4, and I went to like Texas, and I photographed those guys who are now like, probably close to being billionaires. At least 1 or 2 of those guys are.
Right, like that's like
Right.
the ID kind of.
Id, yeah. So I actually went to Irving, Texas. I think it's Irving, and we went to, I went to the offices, and these were like at the time. This is in 94 maybe, and they were young, and they were making, what is it? I forgot the number. It was something like millions were coming in every week because Doom was so hot, like millions of dollars every week. and these guys were like living in apartments, like bachelor apartments, and but they had Ferraris. Like they didn't know what to do with their money. they were too young. They didn't know. So one guy had 2 Ferraris that was parked outside. He said doesn't even have a garage, and they parked outside, and he lives in an apartment. Another guy had a Ferrari, lived in an apartment. Like none of them lived in houses yet. They just didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Let's not buy a house, but let's buy 2 Ferraris.
Yeah, they just had so much money,
Okay.
like out of control. So,
Yeah.
So that was really fun. That's number 3. Number 2, I want to talk about is a crazy thing happened. So I mentioned that I'm in the neighborhood council in my area. We service technically we represent 30,000 people. I was elected. And but the thing is, when people get elected, they're not always vetted that well. Because, you're talking about neighbors voting for people and they don't know who they are. It's not like there's a paper trail of, our current president or, any past president or anything like that. There's no paper trail. Nobody knows. You're just going by their name and their statement.
Okay.
So one guy got in and turns out he's been maybe not telling the truth. He's been stealing stuff, I think. I don't really want to blame, but definitely was caught with a power cord coming out of the office, going to a car in the parking lot, like all kinds of nutty stuff, and it's really just devolved into.
So what you're saying is you want me off the board,
or something, man, or I need to leave the board. It's out of control. But just we're elected officials, and there's this kind of crazy stuff going on that's out of control and weird. So. I don't know. We're working through it, but I just gotta. That's kind of what, man. Unfortunately, tax dollars go to this. I believe, right? Like there's 100 neighborhood councils in LA. We get a budget from the city.
Wow.
And there's 100 of them, so there's a lot of money going into this, and then you have kind of this really unbalanced.
Are
system.
you paid or?
I'm not paid.
You're a volunteer.
No, I'm technically a volunteer, but we are elected. I mean, there's people coming to vote for us and stuff. So it just shows you how out of control that is. And I always think. They could just close this and maybe we'll be better off. We just close all the councils, just be done with it because it's this really weird thing. I'm not sure if it's working.
If you can convince the city of Glendale to close theirs, that would be great too.
Do they even have one? This isn't LA City, right?
Oh,
No.
you've got issues with the city council.
So this isn't LA City, right?
No, this
Glendale
is
zone?
we are in
Yeah.
Glendale.
Okay. So, but what's Burbank also its own city? They have
Burbank
Police.
is its own city too,
correct?
yeah.
So this is all out of our area, but there are I believe parts of the valley, a lot of this valley area that are they
LA.
have neighborhood councils. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's all out here. Van Nuys, all these areas have them.
Yeah. And the funny thing is we're kind of like the ugly stepchild of Glendale. We're right on the butt crack of it.
Oh, so
right, because literally you walk a block and a half down and you're in Burbank.
So you get the worst of the services because you're on this edge.
Nobody cares
Yeah,
about us.
yeah. That's how it is with our neighborhood council too. If you're on the edges, you get no attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
yeah.
I'll admit that you're screwed basically.
If we were next to the Americana, we'd be getting so much love.
Sure.
But we're not. So
Damn it.
yeah, it's
Damn
okay.
it. But this is like an oasis, so it's rad. Anyway, okay. Number 1, Ako Castuera show begins Saturday at Giant Robot 2. Come on
Yay.
down.
Yay,
Yeah,
Ako.
sculptures galore. She's amazing. So, yeah, there you go. That's my top 5.
All right, Ben.
Yeah.
Got any ideas now?
Well, you asked me what top 5 decon moments.
So just top 5.
or lowest ones.
or
No,
just top
let's-
5, or just things that in general.
Let's,
it
let's
could be-
stick to top 5 decon moments. I like that. That's actually because this is a decon episode. So
Sure.
All right. So what do I do? Start with number 5.
Sure.
Let's see. Number 5. Well, we can't. Kevin's gonna help me here.
That's okay.
So, oh gosh. Well, let's see. You think that one number 5? Okay. So we're saying number 5 was the move from Pasadena to Anaheim. It was big. It was a big thing for us.
Yeah.
And some people may think of it as a bad thing.
Yeah.
But we actually see it as a good thing.
I was going to say, maybe it's a bad thing. Okay.
No,
let's go.
it's a good thing. It's
Okay.
a good thing. Because this might lead into number 4.
But wait, do we get to know why?
Why is it a good thing?
Yeah, sure.
Because of the amount of space and just all the stuff we're able to do in Anaheim that we couldn't in Pasadena.
Well, yeah. I mean, what in your last year in Pasadena, you were literally like a third of, or at least maybe like a good chunk of the, vendors were moved to a separate building.
Yes,
You
Hall
know.
C.
You know, and like that, like
That was, I mean,
Some people feel alienated.
Yeah. And the thing is, that was the second year we did Hall C.
Mm-hmm.
And like the first year, I mean, I don't want to say it was a bust, but a lot of people in there felt it was a bust.
Sure.
Even though, Paul Frank was in there, for instance, and things like that. But the second year we had Hall C, it was packed in there, like so packed.
Right.
And that's actually one of the problems we had last year in Pasadena. We were just busting at the seams. It didn't matter how much space we had already in Pasadena. We just maximized it. And I mean, I don't know if you remember, but the lines.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Around,
That's
not
true.
just around the convention center, around the block, down past the convention center, out into the street. Like, it was long.
But
Yeah.
the thing too was that I remember from its development, there was a certain crowd that would come, like they would show up. But then I think the last year in Pasadena, it was just like randoms. Like they didn't necessarily know anything about what's going on, and they were still coming.
Yeah.
That means you're getting like the general family or something. We're just trying to come.
We did our marketing so well that they were like, let's go check it out. We heard about this on the radio or commercial or, billboards or whatever it was. So, yeah, we got a lot more people.
Yeah, because I started seeing people. I'm like, "You're into this," and they're like, "Well, we don't know." It was like that.
We're just
'Cause
here to check.
just people I recognize. I'm like, "I know you. You're not into this," and they're just like, "Well, I
But-
want to see." And I'm like, "Wow, that's awesome that you even knew about this and you're here." So,
You know that we actually had
Yeah.
people show up that year that were like regulars, and they showed up in the afternoon thinking that, okay, I can just walk in like I usually do. And they saw the line,
oh wow,
and they came up to the front, and they're like, I want my money back.
oh
I'm not going to stand in this line. I'm like, really? Like, it goes fast. You'll be in about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And they're like, nah, I don't have time for that. Just give me my money back.
damn.
So I'm like, oh my God, we got to fix this.
No refunds.
No, yeah. So that's number 5. Moving to Anaheim. That helped a lot.
That's okay. Awesome.
Number 4, greatest moment. I would say when we closed the deal with Medicom. That was huge for us.
Yeah, you've been traveling to Japan lately. And
I
stuff.
have, and that's how we kind of got that done.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
So
And
what is the deal with Medicom?
so we were trying to get Medicom to be part of the show for years. I mean, clearly Medicom Toys is like a huge player in the collectible toy game and art toys and all that. And one of the things was, and this kind of relates to number 5, is that we just didn't have the proper space for them, because when you work with a company like Medicom, you either go big or you don't go at all. you
Yeah,
know?
that makes sense.
So
Give them Hall C
yeah,
alone.
yeah,
Okay, anyway.
they would have probably taken up the entire ballroom.
That's the idea.
So, but then what? We alienate about 200 vendors or something.
They
like that?
go in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how well that goes. But yeah, we finally got to the right people, and I think that was a great achievement for DesignerCon.
So the deal was that they're just vendors.
Yeah, they're
Part
vendors.
of the event.
But
Awesome.
we also solidified the deal that, look, we want exclusives. We want to do things. Last year was our first year doing it with Medicom, and we kind of just dipped the toe in the water. And this year we were able to accomplish a lot more because they were able actually to see the show and see like how people are buying things and going to the show and are huge fans, and
So the gamble paid off.
it paid off. It paid off big, and
Right.
that's when we were able to go to them and go like, all right, let's do this and let's
So
do that.
So you got the cow, and now you're just slowly milking it.
slowly,
Yeah.
slowly,
Grabbing
Yes.
teat. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Way to go.
Yes.
just
Yeah.
enough. So
Don't want him to freak out. Don't want to freak out for the cold hands.
Don't want to freak out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's number 4.
That's
awesome.
Wow. We said that at the same time.
I know. Jinx.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We're such big nerds. All right, number 3. Kevin, you're going to need to help me out on this one. What do you think is number 3? Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Number 3 is the moment that we realized that the show was big enough where we made it a 2-day show. Yay!
That
Yeah.
was maybe 4 years ago? 5 years ago?
Yeah.
5?
I think
5?
5
Yeah.
years
5
ago.
maybe. Yeah.
Maybe 5, yes.
Now it's a
maybe.
3-day show.
Now it's a 3-day show, but the third day, which is Friday night,
Yeah.
is VIPs only. So
Right.
it's VIP night. But my philosophy was always like, you cannot make the show a 2-day show unless somebody walking the show can't finish the show in one day. And when we grew to a point where we were like, okay, we have enough people saying like, man, I love the show, but I didn't have time to walk all of it. And like, it was a Saturday only show. And it's like, it would be really great if you could do Sunday too. And like, really, you would come both days? Like, yeah, absolutely. So, good point. Yeah. This is why I have Kevin here. And it also helped. Kevin has brought up a good point is a lot of the vendors that we got from the East Coast and from international would not do the show unless it was a 2-day or longer show.
Right.
It's just not worth it.
It was crazy how many Japanese vendors you had in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And I was like, this event is way smaller than a lot of other events, yet this is their choice, is that they come to DCon. And I was always like surprised.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, you're here. And it's like part of it is the affordability.
Yes.
And maybe it's also, 2 days, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was like not just 3 vendors. It was like a dozen maybe came from Japan or something like that.
Yep.
And I was like dumbfounded by that. Like, what the hell?
They're all
amazing.
there. Yeah. So
if you're into those toys, man, your wet dream
Sofubi.
is there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I remember you long time back in the toy break days. It was one of those. That was one of the words that you struggled with. Or
What was it like?
Sofubu.
Sofubu. Yeah.
Oh, but you almost saying boo boo. That's kind of nice.
Sofubu. Bias for us. So that's
But
number
now
3.
it's like part of the lexicon.
It's in my vocabulary.
Wow, that's a pretty good one.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 3.
That's powerful.
Number 2. I guess that's a good number 2. Number 2 was when we convinced Kid Robot to give us our own Dunny series.
Oh,
And
but that was a controversy to a certain degree.
There really wasn't any controversy to it.
Okay, I mean, like I'm just citing like from another podcast.
I have no.
So wait, what happened?
I have no idea.
Wait,
But
when was that?
the Dunny series was last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we teamed up with Kid Robot and we curated.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha.
A whole Dunny series, and we had amazing artists.
Yeah, that Chet Zara one was great.
Yeah, it was.
Was that also Flat Bonnie? Was it one of
Yes.
theirs? I have that one.
Yeah, it was Flat Bonnie's first Dunny. It was Chet
Yeah.
Zara's first Dunny. It was a lot. Jerome Liu first Dunny. Hyperactive
Yeah.
Monkey. It was a lot of people's first Dunny.
That's really cool. How did you pick the artists that you chose? Because some of them that you picked are not giant, the biggest artist names.
Yeah. So the artist that we picked, and this is actually Kevin is reminding me of this, is that we decided that we would go with the artists that have been part of Designer Con for a long period of time.
That's awesome.
So we had people like Greg Simpkins, which has done a Dunny before, but people don't know that he's been doing Designer Con for years. So we were lucky enough to get him. But, then we also had Brandon Ragnar, who had been designing badges and billboards and posters and all kinds of things for Designer Con since the first one. So we got him involved, and, Flat Bonnie's been involved, and, Hyperactive Monkey, and, all these guys have been involved. So it was a chance for us. It was kind of like hey, thanks for being part of this show and making it what it is. Would you like to do this? And it worked out really well.
So can you use that same idea with Metacom, or are they just looking for big names?
Maybe.
Because,
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the bear bricks that have been leaked out or previewed so far, you'll see that
Luke Chu is a big artist, so that one's a gimme. I would not be surprised at this at all.
every artist at Designer Con is a big artist.
I don't know.
Nice.
At least they are to us. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
You love all your vendors.
Aw.
Actually, we do. We do love all of our vendors, because I always say, without our vendors, there would be no show. So
Sure.
we do love them all. But yeah, it's like we're thinking doing the same. The thing is with Metacom, we can't go as large of scale as we were able to do with Kid Robot. Kid Robot, there was, I think, 14 designs and multiple colorways.
Well,
And
the thing is, we still submitted a list the list originally to Kid Robot was way longer.
Yeah.
And they had to be, because artists like yourself, Luke, you've done a lot of Dunnies.
I've done a couple, yeah.
So they're like, well, he's done a couple. Let's give somebody that hasn't done any a shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dunny. I got you.
Dunny.
Also,
good
like,
pun.
you know, I've already done 2 Dunnies, and they're both essentially the same kind of design. and I just don't even know what I'd want to do
Good
with
thing
it
the Bear
anyways.
Brick is very original.
We had a list too.
Yeah, for Bear Brick we had a list too, and it
Because I think-
was cut tremendously.
Because I mean, Metacom's history to me seems like they only want to work with certain big artists, like, you know, with a lot of like most. I've never seen an unknown artist doing a Bear Brick unless they paid for it.
It's actually funny. I mean, if you look at the Blind Box series, a lot of the artists in there, like
Cause.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about like even if you look at the current like series 36 and 37, there's a lot of artists in there that are like maybe they're big in Japan, but like in the West, they really don't have a name yet.
Yeah.
So
But those things barely sell out here, right? I mean, it's hard to get.
people who know buy them,
yeah.
but you know, sometimes
we used to sell a ton of them, but then they got hard to get, and now they're kind of they're back out here a little bit.
But you know what I love about the Blind Box Bear Brick is the price point.
Yeah, no, that's to me the gold standard of blind box is still
How much
a
are
Bear
they?
Brick.
They're like
$7-8 or something under 10, right?
They're under 10. Usually
should be
they
under
sell
10,
for
right?
like $5.99 or
Something like that,
$6.99.
yeah.
That's a great price.
And mainly because they're
changed.
yeah, the shape hasn't changed.
Yeah,
and there's
they
no
don't
like
modify the sculpt.
no,
You know,
they will not do that.
Yeah.
They won't. So that was a big thing.
That's
that was
awesome.
That was what, number 2? Mm-hmm. And the number one thing I would say, the number one moment for me, at least for DesignerCon, and I'm gonna have to go with this one, was the first year we did it, and when that show came to an end, and I felt like this is awesome. I could keep doing this.
When did you have your first show?
So the first one was actually called Vinyl Toy Network.
Okay, so you count Vinyl Toy Network
Yes.
as part of
So
as
this is
part
like
of
12 years ago, maybe, or something?
yeah, that was like
This-
15 years, almost
Well,
14 years ago.
This year is our 14th year,
yeah,
counting
okay, this is
Vinyl Toy
14.
Network.
Yeah,
And Vinyl Toy Network was literally in a 1,100 square foot room.
yeah, with like I remember like 8. I was there.
You were there.
Yeah, 8 tables
Yeah.
like around like you know.
I remember like thinking like, you know who else was there? David Horvath.
Yep, he's commenting right now and said he was in that.
He was there.
He just said that, yeah.
You can go to our Flickr. Yeah, we use Flickr. And you can
use
see
Flickr.
pictures from the show. And David was so cool because, you know, like he was
Because he's
huge.
listening. He's listening.
Well, aside from the fact that he's listening, but it was awesome to have David Horvath at the show.
He said it was a half circle or something.
Yeah,
Upstairs,
it was
half
like
circle.
a U. We set up the tables like on the perimeter. Yeah, like a horseshoe.
Yeah.
And we had like Mixie Bang and Alpha Cult, and even like Meltdown was there, I think, because they had necessity toys. But the reason why it's like the number one for me in terms of like decon history is because I just remember like, wow, I don't know if anybody's going to show up to this thing. I think the attendance was like maybe 100 or 200 people.
Right.
And I was thinking like, wow, this is so great. And look how many people showed up. And we're just bringing the community together. And this is fantastic. Let's do it again. And that was like my number one moment. I will always remember the first year.
Awesome.
Wow. Wait, which show was it where you guys did the October Toys, like that Penguin custom show?
That was their show. They actually...
But that was part of Vinyl Toy Network or Designer Con, right?
No, because they had their own show, which I think was held at either Alpha Cult or Mixie Bang.
Because I remember, okay.
But then they did. Then they
No, I
brought
thought-
a couple over to VTN.
yeah.
'Cause
oh,
October
so it was a
Toys-
VTN show.
Oh yeah, it was a
Yeah.
VTN show.
Oh.
Yeah,
wow.
Decon only changed back in, or VTN changed to Decon in 2009.
This is the 10th year.
Yeah, so it's our
10
10th year for
years.
Decon and our 14th year in general.
So David Horvath says 100% that should be number one because you took the leap, Ben. That's what he wrote.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was hoping that like you would bring up VTN because if you didn't, I would bring it up.
Yeah,
you know?
VTN was awesome, but we had to change the name because everybody that was not in the vinyl toy market was like, "Oh no, this is not a show for us." And we had to like explain to people, no, you don't understand. Like, people that collect vinyl toys also collect your stuff. People that collect vinyl toys love prints. They love original art. They love skate decks. They love apparel. They love all this stuff. So you should come to VTN. And they're like, no. So when we changed it to DesignerCon and we said it's all things in the realm of design, people like, oh, I get it.
That's me.
And then there's some
Yeah,
people who obviously
exactly.
didn't get it too.
Well, they were like, let's see where this goes.
Right.
Let's see if you guys are around in 14 years. And we are.
Yeah.
Wow, just bigger and bigger every year.
And that's my top 5.
That's awesome.
That is great. That
Thank
is
you.
great. It's it's interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, reflecting back on like that very first VTN, and I need to find the pictures of that. Like,
They're there on Flickr.
Okay.
If you go to our Flickr page, we have everything. Click on the albums, and we have everything sorted by year.
wow.
And there was even a time where we did the show twice a year. Do you remember that? We had spring VTN and winter VTN. And what would happen is we would have an amazing winter show, and all the vendors would come back for spring, and spring was like, something's not right here. And then we'd have to convince all of them to come back for winter, and we'd have a great winter show, and they'd come back for spring, and it would just this vicious cycle. So we were like, you know what, forget it. Forget the spring show. People are concentrating on Comic-Con already at that point, and it's like, it's just not worth it. So we stuck to winter, and luckily it's worked out for us.
I because like, of the timing and the theme of DesignerCon, do you feel that like DesignerCon is kind of basically like picking up the slack from like, say, a San Diego Comic-Con, or maybe even, I'm not sure what New York Comic-Con's like. I haven't been back there in a long time.
Yeah, me neither.
You know?
I don't know about picking up the side. I think we're just a different genre
But
altogether.
that genre used to be there, though, right? Like
Right. Yeah. There used to be a huge, a huge like thing, like
like
it's-
Gargamel used to go to San Diego Comic-Con, right?
Right,
And they
yeah.
stopped, and they decided Decon is where we're going.
Yeah, because
And
we told them, like, you guys want to save a lot of money, then just come to our show instead. And they were hesitant at first, and they tried it, and they're like, wow, this works. Yeah, this is actually, our audience can get in here easier. We can sell the same amount of product at the same cost, and we don't have to pay the prices for the San Diego hotel rooms. The flights to Los Angeles are a lot easier than flying out to San Diego.
Yeah.
And the booths are a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's in terms of that. Yeah, I guess we did kind of pick up the slack on that.
Because San Diego Comic-Con, you see a lot of these small independent like toy companies like not even showing up anymore.
No,
Yeah.
they don't go anymore.
Because the buyers aren't there anymore.
The buyers, because I remember, I don't even know if there's so much. I mean, because like we talked about this earlier this year, Eric and I, about like, how they are managing attendees, right? Wasn't it Dean who kind of mentioned something like that had brought it up to you that like, because we noticed like this year that there was a shit ton of people on the floor.
Yeah, it was busier.
Very busy.
At the convention
It was weird.
center.
We didn't know why. I actually wrote an email to was it Sam Wallace or one of the guys that, and they didn't. He said I'll check into it, but he didn't say here's why.
Oh, we let more people in.
But can they do that because of the digital badge, knowing how many people are in there and that there is more space?
Possibly.
I don't know, but that's
Yeah.
what we thought.
Well,
but we don't know.
that's the theory, right? Like,
Yeah.
is that like they have because of the RFIDs, they have an idea of exactly how many people are inside the convention center at all times and how many people are not.
Well, not even that. The RFIDs can tell you exactly where they are inside the hall.
No, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can track where people are. So I think the
What?
problem is that they were like, okay, how can we track all these people? It's like, okay, there's an attendance level, but we know that a lot of them are spending their whole day inside panels.
Yeah.
So I think the RFID lets them see, like, okay, how many people are in panels right now?
And that means there's more people floor space, perhaps.
Right.
And yeah,
Exactly.
And how many? Like maybe there's a 5% attrition rate that just aren't going to be inside that day. They went to SeaWorld or they went to something else.
Right.
Or they're just walking around downtown where there's all kinds of crap going on.
Exactly.
Maybe
Right.
they know and they're like, well, that's 5%. We could definitely sell more tickets.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. That's
Yeah.
a theory.
Well,
Who knows?
it sounded like a great theory to me because, yeah, I mean, like, it sounded like there was a ton of people. But the thing is that, like, I remember when they moved to a lottery system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, like,
Yeah, it's
that-
hard to get into San Diego Comic Con.
right?
Isn't it hard to get into decon now?
No.
No. Okay.
No, you can. Right now you can go to tickets.designercon.com.
Oh
and
no.
buy
no
your
I'm
ticket.
talking about vendors. Getting in.
Eric getting right into it.
Okay. So
Let's hear it.
So
I didn't know this was a problem. So
we do have a wait list, but the thing is, and we've said this before, so it should come as no surprise. We curate the show, okay, and the reason is we don't do it because we're like we don't like you, so you're not allowed in the show. No, what we're doing is we're actually saving a lot of these people a lot of money. Okay, so even though our show is not that expensive to do, we really know like okay, if this person comes into the show and tries to sell their products, and we look at everything like. When you apply for like a vendor request, we look at your Instagram, we look at your Facebook, we look at your website, we look at everything. And if we think that, look, this person has one pin and I don't know what they're thinking. And I sometimes even email these people like, hey, I took a look at your non-existent website, so I had to go to your Instagram, and I saw that you sell one pin. Are you selling anything else? And they're like, sometimes we get a reply like, no, but we really want to be part of the show. It's like, no, that's horrible. That is a horrible idea. Like Business 101, please do not spend all this money to go to a show and travel.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, if you don't live near Anaheim, you're probably going to get a hotel room. And you're going to spend all this money for what? Like, just come to the show and, you know, promote yourself or like, do some networking that way. You don't have to have a booth. So we do curate. We make sure that, and like I said, it's for the best because we're trying to save these people time and effort and money. And there have been times where I've told people like, this is not a good fit for you. You really don't want to do it. No. I really want to. I'm like, are you sure? Yeah. Please let me in. Okay, fine. Here's where you go to register and get yourself a booth. And I've had those vendors Saturday night pack up their stuff and leave. And I'm like, okay, now you're doing me a horrible thing because
Sure.
now I have an empty booth. And I get it. You didn't do well at the show, even though we told you weren't going to do well. But why did you do that? Why'd you pack up your stuff and leave? Like at least just battle it through, you know, just stay through the rest of the weekend. So
You never know what happens, right?
you never know. Yeah, you might get somebody that comes in and goes like, oh, you guys make these? Well, what if we make these with this? Or like, what if we change it? So you never know. So in terms of, is it hard to get into the show? Yes and no. Like if you come to us and you have, you know, stuff that would really do well at the show and we see it, or we even just remotely think just this much, like think like, you know, this is a little different. We really should see if this guy can do well at the show. You can get into the show. But if you're like, you know, if we could tell just by your social media and your online presence that you're just wishy-washy and you don't know what you're doing and all you heard is like, wow, you have a pin or you have this one print and you really should go to Decon and be a vendor. It's like, please just at least tell us like why do you think you should be a vendor? Like we read every email. We go through every single request. We're not just like, no. And that's the thing. We love our vendors. We love every single one of our vendors because, you know, we want them to do well. We don't want a vendor to come up to me at the end of the show and go like, yeah, I totally didn't do any sales. And like, that's the worst
ouch.
feeling.
Yeah.
And Eric, you'll probably could, you know, agree with me here. Like I walked the show at the end and I've come up to you and I've said, Eric, how'd you do? Did you do well? Did stuff sell? And like, I sometimes have people say like, you know, this year was a little rough or, oh no, like I sold out of everything. I sold everything. It was great. Can't wait for next year. So yeah, we keep all those things in mind because we care. If we didn't care, we just lay down a piece of paper that says, here's where you go to register for your booth next year. By the way, the price has gone up 30%. Thank you. Bye. But we don't do that. So, yeah. There's
Damn.
your there it is.
Wow. Boom.
Nice.
For all of you little whiners. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, no,
I didn't say it.
no.
I did not say it.
said it. I'm kidding. Come on now.
So you know,
We all have a dream.
there's something that I was a little bit curious about.
Go ahead. Yes.
Yes, no, I gave you a heads up. This is going to come up. So-
Oh no.
Oh, wait. First, Jim McKenzie says, Ben, bring it back to Pasadena. Boom.
Jim, I can't. I can't bring it back to Pasadena because you know what?
But he's welcome to join us in Anaheim.
Yeah, Jim, come out to Anaheim. How about that? Bring the wife and kid and have fun at Disneyland.
dude.
But, you know, we had a lot of people say like, you have to bring it back to Pasadena. You have to, like, you ruin the show. All I got to say is, like, if you guys enjoy vendors like Metacom, then you have to enjoy the fact that it's in Anaheim because we would lose so many of these international vendors if we moved it back to Pasadena.
Right.
We would. It's just the truth.
The Pasadena cannot accommodate.
No,
You know,
there's
the-
just
the
not
show anymore.
Okay, so it's either one of two things. We either alienate all these independent artists, which have supported the show for years and years and years, and the smaller companies, which have supported the show for years and years and years, and we tell them, sorry, we're moving back to Pasadena, but we don't have any room for you because we've got to make room for all these bigger guys that are like the thing that brings in the larger crowds now. Or we tell the larger guys, see you later, and we lose half of our audience.
Wait, why not the LA Convention Center?
Oh, it's
Sorry,
what
I circumvented your question.
No.
I'm
This
What
is
a-
good. This is good.
Yeah.
Traffic night.
so we did look into it.
Right, because it's
And-
closer for a lot of us LA people.
It is.
Many
but
of us.
there is a certain event called the LA Car Show, which happens every year the same time as our show. And the LA Auto Show.
Yeah, it's
and
big.
we can't, like LA Convention Center won't do anything about it.
You can't move your show a week earlier or whatever it is, or
They take up the entire month of November.
oh my god,
Yeah.
oh
That's a lot of cars.
yeah, I guess so.
So,
Jeez,
and Anaheim, yeah, it's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, it's a drive for you. I mean, it's a drive for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're in Burbank,
Glendale.
Glendale. Well, sorry, I don't even know what. That,
Oh, it's fine. But yeah, it's and anybody that's compared the two convention centers in terms of parking and just walking around and just like cleanliness, Anaheim just has LA Convention Center beat.
you know, I do like the Pasadena Convention Center more. But
Or you mean Anaheim?
no, Pasadena.
Oh, Pasadena?
I like the Pasadena Convention Center more just because it's like 15 minutes away from me, surface streets. I know where the parking is. It's like right across the street.
But it's small.
You know, and it's intimate, you know, and you're walking distance from Old Town.
Yeah.
You know, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you
Now, what a lot of people don't know, and this is, you know, I guess since we're talking about it, let's talk about it. We tried to increase our footprint in Pasadena. We really tried. And don't get me wrong, we love the guys in Pasadena, so this is no way of me like bagging on them. But we went to the convention center and we basically told them like, can we do this and this and this to increase, like we were willing to go into like another building. We were willing to spread it out in a certain way, and they wouldn't do it. They even told us if we had done the show last year, we would have lost Hall C.
wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's
So
the
look,
real reason.
so
Whoa.
look, but here's the thing. We don't like to talk about it because what's the point of talking about it? It's the situation. That's what it is. You know, people just need to understand that there is a reason why we do everything for the show. And it's not just to piss people off. Like, we love our vendors and we love the people that show up to the show. We love our attendees. And we're not just doing things to be like, haha, like, screw you guys, we're moving the show. No, it's like, no, we try so hard. We loved Pasadena.
Yeah.
But we didn't want that line outside. We didn't want vendors complaining to us that they couldn't get in. We didn't want all these international vendors turning us down because there was no space for them. And on top of it, the city comes back to us and basically says, we don't have any room for you. And when the city tells you that, what are you supposed to do? Oh, let's put a tent outside and like put vendors outside. You know what kind of chaos that would cause? Like, why am I outside?
Oh yeah, and it's
like-
cold outside too.
You'd never know. We've had years where it's been pouring rain.
Yep. I remember the rain year.
Yeah, we had years where it was 100-degree heat. So we've had everything. It's November in California. That's what it is.
Right.
So, there's a reason we do everything for the show, and it's like it's for me. It's sad when I hear people complaining about it because, like, clearly, for a reason, people don't know everything that goes on behind the scenes.
They will never know.
And that's great because we don't want people to know. There's so many things that happen.
We want to know. That's what we're asking.
I mean, I could tell you, but there's there's a laundry list of things. Like Kevin, before he joined, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll help Decon out," and then he realized what kind of
It's a monster.
what kind of a pile of shit he stepped into. So.
Like Eric just asked me earlier before he came in. He thought I'd come here once in a while. I'm like, no, I'm here.
He's here every day. Yeah.
Since 2016.
Yeah, he's stuck here. So, but that's I always say that if we're doing our job right, nobody knows all the things that go into doing this show.
Yep. They don't know the
Just
goods
like-
and the bads. Yeah.
Just like nobody knows what goes into throwing an art show in your gallery
Sure.
or running a retail store. They just know that when they go, they have a great time, a great experience, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So
To us, too.
to us, that's the key as well. So be nice. that's my takeaway point. Please just be nice.
Don't yell at us.
Go for it, Luke.
Okay, so
Yeah.
one of the
Let's talk about that thing.
okay, look, all right. So one of the things that you were very adamant about in 2017
Here we go.
was hey, Funko is going to be a part of Designer Con.
2017?
You were saying this in advertising this in 2000 or maybe early 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but you're like, okay, yeah, so 2018 you mentioned this back when on your show Toy Geeks.
Yeah.
You're not only do you
We even had Mike Becker on the show.
and and that was like, hey, we would love Funko to be a part of it because there's a lot more to Funko than Funko Pops.
Yes.
But no Funko Pops in Decon.
Right.
And apparently I found out a couple, maybe a month ago when I was talking to Scott Tolson.
Yeah. Scott, that guy. God. Text him right now. Damn it, Scott.
Funko Pop exclusive.
There is a Funko Pop exclusive at our show. Yeah.
Now, okay. I am not an anti Funko Pop person.
Okay, good.
I'm not. I believe that they have a big. They're going to play a big part in the evolution of this, toy collectible toys kind of thing. I mean, they already are one of the biggest collectible toys in the world right now.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
But what made you kind of what is this exclusive and why did you decide to backtrack on that?
So let's back up here. Let's go back to 2018, last year, where Funko was involved in the show, and they came into the show as Saturday mornings, it was a brand new thing that Funko came up with, which was the cereals. And when they approached us, my initial response was, no, we don't want Funko at the show. We don't want the main thing that we didn't want was this big Funko booth selling 100 different pop exclusives or shared exclusives, and there was a constant line and crowds and running and it was just I'm like, oh man, no, we don't want that chaos. So when they came to us and they explained, look, this is something really new and we're going to make it really cool, and just trust us on this, and here's some of the stuff that we're thinking. I was like, this is actually pretty fun.
Right.
I like this. I like the cereal idea. I actually have a couple of the cereal boxes. I think they're really cool.
Yeah.
So we worked with them on that. And we put them in a section of the hall where literally if you didn't know that they were there, you probably could have even missed them. And, the Funko people came. And what we also noticed was that they would come to the show, they would buy their Funko cereal or T-shirts, and then they would go walk around the show. And it introduced a whole audience to our world, which is the key thing that we're trying to do here.
Right.
The way to keep a scene alive is you introduce the scene to new people.
Absolutely.
So that's what we did last year. Okay, now this year, Funko is not part of the show.
Oh.
And they're not coming back to the show. They don't have a booth. They're not selling cereal. They're not doing it for
Right.
whatever reason.
Oh, you didn't know.
We don't know,
Yeah,
but
wow.
we're speculating that the reason why they're not doing it is because they're too busy. They're too busy planning the opening of their Hollywood store, which is actually opening up the weekend before Designer Con.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Now, what we did do this year was we basically talked to the Hamills, and we're like, we really want to celebrate Mark Hamill in the sense of like his voiceover acting career. I think it would be really cool. The Star Wars movie's coming out, but let's do something completely different. And when we found out that, yes, we got the A-OK from the Hamill family, and, there's also things involved with Nathan, which I've worked with in the past.
Yeah.
And we basically said, let's do this art show. And luckily, we found out that there is a pop that they made, which is the pop that has the Nathan Hamill Lava Bear shirt on it. And we're like, well, can we have that? And we actually got lucky because that pop was supposed to be for New York Comic Con.
Oh.
And it didn't make it.
Oh,
So they're like, well, look, you guys are doing this art show. Why don't we just bring this pop to to your show then and tie it all in together? And the other thing that we're doing, which nobody really knows about, is that the actual shirt is going to be for sale too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it comes in a Funko box.
oh wow.
So that's something that we'll be announcing very soon, or should I say we just announced it. But it all ties in together. Like I said, there's a reason for everything. Now, are we getting hate for this pop? Yeah, we're getting so much hate for this pop.
Wait, can you why?
Because people think that because we have this Funko Pop and because of what I said, that this is totally destroying the show. I totally don't care about anything else. This is a total money grab, as somebody said, and we just don't care. And we're just, forget it. Funko, come on, let's go. Let's do it. It's like people don't tie the two together. I mean, this is all part of this art show and this celebration, and it's a really cool thing. And yes, it draws in the Funko crowd, but guess what? They're gonna pick up this pop exclusive, which they can pre-order. So which means they don't even need to stand in line. They just have to come to the show to pick it up. Right. And the reason why we did that is because we want these people in the door. Right. We want them picking up their pop and then going to shop around. We even told them, you don't need to go pick up your pop when you get to the show. You can walk around the show, buy everything you want, and then right before you leave, or the next day when you come back, you can pick up your pop. It's secured. It's there. Nobody's going to take yours. So why not? Why not do that? Like, I don't understand
because they have to run to the parking lot to put it on eBay. That's why they want to get it right away,
dude,
fast as possible.
They're already on eBay.
Oh,
That's
are
the
they?
funny
Okay,
part.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already on eBay. So in terms of the pop, like I don't know what to say.
It just seems kind of small, like as a object wise, to get that upset about. If there was like,
right.
if you said, hey, there's 100 exclusives, then I think you can raise an eyebrow to that.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of crazy, be kind of awesome too.
Yeah.
I'll raise my hand, make one with us. But no, seriously, if there's 100, but just one, and I think it's not even that much of a, I don't know.
Yeah. It's and
To me, it sounds like not enough to get mad at.
Yeah.
You would think, right?
Yeah, I would think so, just objectively.
But look how angry Luke is right now. Look at him; he's just steaming. Oh my gosh! Calm down, Luke. Just calm down. Just
I'm
take it
so
down
frustrated with you, Ben.
Here, just hug your bear
Look,
brick.
I
and
want a
everything will
refund from my fucking booth. I want to cancel all the stuff that I have.
Luke just canceled his bear brick.
So you could. I got an idea. Don't cancel. Just give it to me for my booth, and you leave.
There you go.
I'm good.
Perfect.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
No,
See?
no. I like I was saying, like I don't hate the Funko Pop. I don't know how many people that follow me that have the word Funko somewhere in their Instagram name, and so and that's
There you go.
when I realized
So
they're here because of.
do you want to hear
Funko.
something really funny? And I haven't told anyone this story. So in 2018, when we were planning everything with Funko and the whole cereal thing, they invited me to Funko Fun Days
Oh wow! I've seen
in
videos
San
of that.
Diego.
Yeah.
And it's insane. And I'm like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know who these people are. They're all like crazy Funko fanatics. This is going to be so weird. But I'm going to go so I can experience this and then give my Funko toys to Kevin to sell. And
You know this is live, right?
oh, yeah, I know. There's no editing. It's just a joke, people. It's a joke. Just laugh, for God's sakes. But you want to know what happened. I went to the event, and instead of seeing all these strangers, which I don't know, I saw so many collectors or people that I know in the toy scene that either own stores or involved in toy production or involved in so many other things in our scene, and they're all there.
Right.
They're all at this Funko Fun Days thing. And I'm thinking like, wow, like this is insane. Like this is the thing that we're all supposed to like hate, and yet all these people are here. How is that? And I remember even one person came up to me and goes, "Hey Ben, how's it going?" I'm like, No, I'm not here. Don't look at me. Don't say my name. And they were like, I kind of made a joke kind of like that, like no. I was like, just don't tell anyone I'm here. It's like, and they were like, dude, just they kind of said like in not so many words, like just embrace it, just let it go. There's so many collectors that buy this stuff, and so many people that like collect either it's the mystery minis or their favorite movie or whatever it is, and they just have so much fun with it. And like, why have this hate? And it kind of resonated with me. Like, this guy's right. In a way, he's right. Like, I could totally hate this platform and totally hate this toy, which, in a way, I'm like, yeah, it's Funko Pop, whatever. But, at the end of the day, it's like, I don't have to buy it. It's there. And like you said, if it's a stepping stone for people into our toy world, then why not?
Right.
Why is nobody screaming about the fact that Futura just did a Funko Pop?
Yeah, like some collab, right?
And not just one.
Yeah, three?
Like
I don't
there's
know.
like
Three?
the
I can't
Boba Fett, the Jawa, the Darth Vader, the 6-inch one, the T-shirts, the socks, the bags. Why is no one complaining about that? Ron English just did a Freddy Funko grin.
Right.
Like,
I'm not. Well, I mean, aren't they? Aren't people complaining? I mean,
are they?
I would love to do a Funko Pop. I just don't think I'm pop enough to be Funko to do one.
But you see, that's the thing. Like, they're commingling into our world, and like, you don't have to buy it. You really don't. But it's like at the same time, like the collectors, what they're actually doing us a service here. They're introducing their audience to our artists, and then maybe somebody that buys that Freddy Funko grin says like, this is really cool. Who the heck is this Ron English guy? And they start looking into it, and they start buying Ron English figures.
Right.
And it just opens up this world to them. Or they look at Futura and they go like, what do you mean this guy's been around for like 30 years and he's a graffiti artist? What the hell is a graffiti artist?
Right.
And they start looking into it and they're like, wow, this is really cool.
Yeah.
That's our goal. Our goal is to introduce our world to new people. And if companies like Funko help us do that, why would we bash them? Right?
Right.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
No,
I don't know whether
yeah.
our audience agrees, but
Yeah, I don't know either, but I agree too.
Are they
I'm
yelling
good
at
with
you
it.
right now?
Nope.
Are they all yelling at us?
No, they're silenced. There's nothing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, there's actually no comments right now. So, yeah, I think so.
the comments usually show up at the very last minute.
They get
you
angry.
know?
It's bottled up.
Burn him at the stake. I hate this guy.
Right, so we got some. You usually do an exclusive toy every year,
Yeah, we do a few, actually.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we
Like,
have the mascot one? Or What happened?
Well, you
with it?
have the Nitros piece here.
We
right?
have no. That was last year.
year's, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Last year we did the Nitros
Is this
T-Rex. I think Kevin's gonna
Wow. Okay.
run out and grab some stuff.
Sure.
in here? Okay.
But
I might as well show. Since we have a video feed, might as well show some of it. So
yeah. So this
It's okay.
reaching for it
Wow.
here.
There's art on there.
There is not just art, but Andy Warhol art.
Wow.
This is an exclusive bear brick that's going to be available at Designer Con. This is the 400%.
Is it limited?
It
Very
is limited.
Oh.
it's got the Warhol Mona Lisa.
So you have
print.
to run to the Metacom area.
Yeah, actually, yeah,
Right.
you should.
Because people do run to
They
the
do
Metacom
run.
on Friday.
Yeah.
There's people hustling to get
Which
there.
is funny because with the amount of VIPs, like we usually can get like all the VIPs into the Metacom booth
Oh wow.
on Friday night, which allows the VIPs to basically buy everything that they want.
Right.
But this is the 400%. This is the CMYK Mona Lisa bear brick.
All right.
So this is the colorful one.
Oh.
And we're going to have this in a 100% pack, as well as a 1,000% bear brick.
Or you're doing a 1,000% version
Wow,
of
the
it.
big
yeah,
one.
the big one. Yeah, you got to have the 1,000%.
I believe it's what 28 inch. 28 inch. Am I wrong?
700.
Oh, hey, it's a
700.
Jason Freeney thing.
This is, hey guys. Oh, I keep
That's
hitting
cool.
the mic. I'm so sorry.
Oh wow.
So this is in collaboration with Jason Freeney, who is an amazing artist,
and Scott Tolson.
and Scott Tolson, who created our wonderful Vincent mascot. Thank
Ye-
you, Scott.
You know what? He told me the story about Vincent.
How he looked at George
it.
and just drew him as a cartoon character.
He looked at both you and George.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It's an amalgam of George Gaspar and George
Wow.
Gaspar's beard and Ben. So
That's cool.
No.
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, wow. He never told me that.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you talking about? It's not George.
Awesome.
So it's Ben Gaspar
Ben Gaspar. Awesome.
or George Gretzky.
There you go. GG. Well, it's just his initials anyway, so
Yeah.
it's all good.
So,
And it's Ben Gaspar. Yeah, that's my initials too. So there you go. It works.
So yeah, that's
So this will be available at DesignerCon this year at the DesignerCon booth.
For those of you guys listening to the audio of it, this is basically the mascot of Scott Tolson that Scott Tolson drew of the kind of bearded, artsy kind of guy, and like a quarter of it's cut out.
Our mascot's name is Vincent,
Vincent.
Vincent.
I never knew his name.
which is a grown-up version of our original VTN mascot, Vinny.
oh.
So remember, yeah. So
Barely.
he grew up and he became Vincent.
And then, so it's gotten the Jason Freeney anthropomorphic kind of dissected treatment.
Uh-oh.
I like the fact that
Didn't Cos get mad at this guy?
Oh yeah, yes he did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Coswatch.
Yeah, I think he got
Dun,
mad.
dun, dun, dun.
He got mad at this part.
Yeah,
Well,
but
not
like
at this doll, but this piece. But
I like the fact that this is very nicely stylized.
Oh, yeah.
To it feels like it's a natural part of his
His style.
of the style. It's like he's borrowing Scott Tolson's style and
Yeah.
doing it,
and making a skull armature,
Yeah.
whatever.
And
you know,
Jason is
skeleton.
really cool the way he works. Like we sent him a 3D output of this, and like he did it all by hand. It was amazing. And we actually tried to have it for last year, but the timing was just off.
Right.
But luckily we have it for this year. So it's really cool.
We have a lot of Vincents this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the mascot. So last year during the Kid Robot Dunnies, there was a mascot dunny, which was designed by Scott Tolson. And we thought, okay, well, maybe people will like it. We'll see. And we found out that people love it. They love the mascot dunny. So we're like, we really should promote our mascot a little bit more because he is fun and people like to collect him. So we did the Jason Freeney one. Then another thing that we're doing this year is if you love the 3-inch dunny, you'll be able to buy a version that's 5 inches this year. So that'll be available.
Nice.
And then we also went back to our friends in Japan, and we are doing two things. With Metacom, we're doing the bear brick, which is something that every VIP will receive. Every VIP and MVP will receive in their box.
And
MVP.
and vendor
We'll have to talk
and
about that.
vendor.
I don't know if we made that many.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
But,
what's that? Wasn't MVP?
Wait,
and-
how about vendors who've been vending for like over 2 years for you?
Eric, we'll talk after the show.
Okay. Anyway. All right.
So you'll receive that. MVP is the one that buy the special Mark Hamill
Oh,
they
cool.
they pre-buy the pop.
Oh, okay.
So that's the MVP.
Oh.
And then also, so we're doing the bear brick, and then we also went to a Sofubu factory, and we are actually getting our mascot done as a Sofubi character.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
like real nice Japanese vinyl.
Like
Cool.
legit Japanese
Like
vinyl.
legit, like we went to
Not soft vinyl,
like
Sofubi.
we went to like multiple factories and we're like, no, you're too big. We need the guy that's like literally working in the back, just doing everything by hand. And we picked the smallest factory we could find and we did it there.
I almost died in there.
Kevin almost died in there
Whoa.
from the fumes.
Wow.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're doing a lot with our mascot this year. It's pretty awesome.
That's great. That's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, he's ready made for, you know,
Yeah.
toys.
Would
So.
you buy this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, I
thank
would. You know, it's. I think like it's. I think it looks good. I really like. Okay, should I go there?
Go there.
Uh-oh.
Go, Luke. Go.
Oh boy.
Bring it.
Okay, yeah, because personally, I got kind of tired of a lot of the like Mighty Jack's Jason Freeney stuff.
What?
Yeah, I know, shocking. Like I am the only one.
How much hate are you getting right now? Like, how many people are hating this right now?
But the thing, and the reason why is because it just looked like the same design, just slapped onto a different,
Yeah, but
a different DC character over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
And I feel like I could definitely see that. I feel like I see the effort that Freeney did on this one.
like when he did the Barbie and everything.
Right, exactly. Like going back to some of his older stuff, you
Yeah.
know, and and so. Yeah.
But the thing about those characters is that I think he made those for the general market.
Well, that not only that, but I kind of feel like basically they just got once he did one, they just slapped it on a bunch of other ones. It seems like
There's still effort that goes into it, and there's still production that goes into it.
right. Of
but
course, yeah. I mean, yeah, but
they wanted to like how do you take like Jason Freeney and make him more accessible to like the general toy people, without kind of freaking them out. So I think that's kind of what they did.
Hey, I'm kudos to his success.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm not saying it's unwarranted. I'm just saying that as an audience and as a critic,
Sure.
since I'm active in this scene, like I think I'm allowed to be critical of what I see being produced.
I could see that.
You know, I remember saying all that stuff, and I was like, oh, really? But and that's not a slight against Jason Freeney at all. It's just okay, maybe it's a little bit of a slight against Jason Freeney. I won't deny that, but it's because it just seemed so repetitive, and especially when you're looking into characters with mythologies,
Okay.
like DC characters.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman. The mythology of Wonder Woman is that she's made out of mud, because she is a whatchamacallit.
She's made by the gods.
Yeah, made by the gods.
Yeah.
So if a little bit of effort was, put into how they presented her organs, taking that aspect of it into the that aspect, it would have been really interesting. The Martian Manhunter, he's not a human being, he's from fucking Mars, so do something fucking with. Interesting. But the thing is that even fucking Superman, he's the Man of Steel. There's this there's all these different things that they could have done, and it felt lazy.
Okay.
Did you do a Wolverine but put white bones in it?
What? No, he just did this DC.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
gonna say if you did a Wolverine with just plain ass human bones, I'd be sad.
Yeah, I would be sad about that
Yeah.
too.
But I think that's what Luke is saying. Like,
I know.
they kind of
They're all
went
the
that
same.
route.
They're all
Yeah.
the same.
Right.
You know, I never thought of it that way.
Well, Luke's an artist. This is
Yeah.
artist brain right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we're just regular. You know. Anyway,
I don't
But
know
this
about that.
but this one's okay.
Yeah, I like this one because like I like it because like the there's like there's things about the whatchamacallit, like the way the rib cage is and the how geometric he is and the skull, and it all fits together, and I'm like, oh, I like that one.
Well, thank you.
Like it's like it's kind of like in my eyes like a return to like Freeney's like classic kind of like, and knowing that he also sculpted it by hand and stuff like
Yeah.
that, kind of like,
Has the original.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know.
he has the original.
it's like, okay, that's good. Like I'm happy to see like,
Yeah,
like work.
Cool.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Can I go back to a decon question?
Sure.
So, I think. Wait, let's see. At my booth, I think my sales have been. Well, they were at one time. I think I sold really well, and I think they've gone down a little bit. I attribute that to either I'm just not doing something right, or there's a lot of people but spending less money.
Okay.
How do you get people to spend more money, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to ask, but like a Zine Fest, people go there with $20 and that's all they're going to spend, right? Comic-Con, people go there with, I don't know, $500 or $1,000 and they're going to spend, right? So how do you keep your numbers at decon to, make sure people come to spend? Like, how do you make that how do you install that? You know what I'm saying? A pin event, people might bring $100 and spend 30 of it and that's it. Like they're
Yeah.
not going to spend $200 at a pin event, right?
I think the key is not so much about how much people, how do we get people to spend more? I think the question is really more like, how do we get more people in the door? Because more people in the door means there's more people that are buying things, and that's really our goal. So the way that we do our marketing and the way that we, get the name out there of the show, and we get more people to announce it and share on social media and get us more followers, and then therefore get us more people buying tickets. That's the key for us. Like, I don't know if you can ever control how much people spend, even though we do kind of promote the event as like, it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, it's the weekend before Black Friday, so get your holiday shopping in right now.
Right.
So
I'm sorry.
it's all right.
Yeah.
So we kind of promote it that way, and
Was there enough last year, do you think, or was that not enough people for your taste? Like, did you want?
I would have loved more people in there.
Right.
Yeah, and we kind of planned on having more because the aisles, if you noticed, were so big. But then we also thought maybe we just made them way too big, so we changed the aisle sizes this year, and you'll see a difference. Yeah, but it was also a transition year for us. So a lot of people were kind of waiting to see like what's going to happen to the show once it moves to Anaheim. And I think all the press that we got and all the positive feedback that was given after the show made a lot of people think like, you know what, I'm not going to miss this again. I'm going to go out next year and actually go to the show.
Were there people that did not have booths last year but had booths in Pasadena that kind of went,
Yeah, there's
I'm back.
Yeah, there's a couple of people like that, that have plain out told us like, yeah, just Anaheim's too far away for me, so I can't do the show. But they still come to the show. Like, they don't mind coming to the show and attending. They're just not vendors, because at the end of the day, a vendor has to set up and they have to get a hotel room if they don't live close by, and there's more costs involved in being a vendor as opposed to being an attendee.
But one thing about Anaheim, the convention center, is the setup was actually easy. Like that's the one thing about it, is setting up is actually really easy. I feel like the waiting isn't too long. Like, you pull up in your car, that you unload your crap, get it to your booth area. It's really quick. And one thing I like about it too is every day as a vendor, I feel like being able to walk out through that back door instead of the front door is the difference of all time. Because now we get to, if you want to leave and go home, you can drive out pretty quick, relatively, but you don't have to mix in with the crowd, the people crowd.
Right.
You're going out the vendor door. that makes a big difference
Yeah.
in like, either like it just makes me relax more because I'm not like, oh shit, look at all these people. I got to
Yeah.
fight my way to get to my car. Now it's just like walk straight.
Do you remember like
It's nice.
when the show
I
would
love that.
end, how packed the loading dock would be? Like in Pasadena, there would be a line of cars.
That'd be tough. Yeah.
And Anaheim has an entire parking structure and open lot in the back.
Yeah.
Just for our vendors.
Yep. That's why one thing I like about Anaheim is that because the convention center, I did it once, it took me like maybe 2 hours just to get to load out or something.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
get my car to the right place
Yeah.
to load out. I had to wait in a long line.
So there are a lot of
Yeah.
pros to
Yeah.
Anaheim.
Yeah. That's one reason why I do like Anaheim. As a vendor, I feel like it's made for really good for vendors there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank Anaheim, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Because, I do WonderCon too. And it's also easy for vendors
Yeah.
there. They make it easy.
And it's a totally different show, WonderCon.
There's
Yeah.
nothing- yeah.
So
No, they're not related. But yeah.
what else, guys? We're running into the wee hours of the evening here.
Oh, okay. Well, you're a busy man. But
No, I've just got 2 kids at home.
no. Well,
They might be watching.
well, these.
Hey, Leo.
Okay, so what would you say to a new toy maker? You being kind of involved in this for a while, like someone who wants to get into it, because I know for everyone that's been doing it for years, there's always one that's just dreaming just to get in the door.
We love the new guys. We love the new toy makers, and I would say that if you want to be part of this scene, then DesignerCon is a great home for you, and we'd love to have you. But once again, like we don't want you to go to the show without being ready.
Yeah.
So we want to see that like you actually have something to sell, and like
Yeah, but you're a toy maker. I'm talking about not just for Decon, but like as a creator.
3D
What do they need to do? Like
what do they need to?
Yeah, you're a pretty moderate artist. Maybe you're pretty good, but you have an idea. I want to make these, but who do I make them with? How do I do it? Where do I go first? What's step 1 or 2 or 3 for these guys?
Okay, well, I would say step 1 is, can you visualize your character in 3D? Because there's a lot of times where people say like, I want to make this into a toy. It's like, okay, well, can you visualize it in 3D? Can you give us turns? Can you actually see it standing up and things like that, or sitting down, or whatever pose it is that you can visualize it in 3D? If you can do that first step, then you're on your way. In terms of production, if you know how to sculpt, great. It's fantastic when an artist can sculpt their own figure. Now, don't feel bad if you can't, because as Luke will
I have
contest,
never sculpted
Right.
a single one of my toys.
99% of the artists out there are not Jim McKenzie. And
Sculpting's expensive. Yeah, that part is really expensive.
it is
I mean,
expensive. But you know what? There's a lot of people that do it, and there's a lot of like students that are studying 3D sculpting that do it as well. So you can find people that are learning like the pixel
ZBrush
all
and-
that.
yeah.
And you can basically cut a deal with some of these guys to do your sculpting. Now, if you can't do that, then yeah, you can approach people like 3D Retro, like us. And we do need the turns, those drawings of how the figure's supposed to look, and we can get it sculpted and molded and cast, and we can do all the production because we are a full production house. But at the same time, for a company to do a full production, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
For like the sculpting fee is just a fraction of it. It's just the beginning cost. The real cost comes into the actual production. And if you want to get something produced in a factory in China, for instance, you need to do, 1,000 or at least a few hundred figures to get the cost to a reasonable cost. So as an artist, keep that in mind, build up your audience. And if you don't feel that you can sell like at least, I would say 400, 500 pieces, then, maybe look into companies that do resin castings and do a small run of resin castings that you hand paint originals, whatever, single color resin castings, things like that.
Well, you got like artists like Sucklord, or
Yeah.
even like wasn't Lamore Supreme?
Lamore did it.
Yeah.
Mostly everybody did it. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody's done resin castings of something.
Right.
And if you can sell, say, 50 of those, then maybe you want to think about doing a production run. But if you've made 50 and you're holding on to 40 of them, then
Wrong design.
then maybe you want to redesign it. Yeah, maybe
yeah.
you want to think of something else. Don't give up. I'm
Yeah.
not saying give up on your dream, but like think of something else. There's a lot of artists that you look. It's funny because you'll sometimes go to an artist and you'll look at their Instagram, and you'll hit a point where their design is completely different. Like you keep scrolling and you're like, what the heck is this? This looks nothing like what they're doing now. And that was stuff that they did early on, and they experimented and it didn't work. And, they tried something new and it jackpot, people loved it. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to go with this style. So keep trying things, don't be afraid to do things, find the character that people love. Just don't give up. That's what I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wait, we didn't talk about this guy though.
Oh, this guy. Well, yeah, this is also a DesignerCon exclusive.
So it's
It is a Matt Gondek Marvin the Martian, deconstructed, and this is he had a colorway released last year, and there were 500 pieces of those, and those sold out at another show. And we went to Matt and we're like, hey, can we do this? We changed a couple of things around with the sculpt because we wanted to make it better.
Right.
We wanted to make it stand better and just a little bit more solid, so like it doesn't fall and things like that. So this is technically a revised sculpt of the original one. And we made a very limited run of these, and they will be available at DesignerCon.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. So
Is there like a full color version of it?
the full color version was the original one.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the original vinyl figure that was made. And like I said, it was sold last year.
Oh. Was it your production?
It was. It was
Oh.
our production. But we changed a couple of things on this one.
Black and gold is always a great secondary color.
Awesome.
I go there all the time.
There you go. And
I learned from Bandai. Bandai, the Japanese toy
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
Like they would do alternate colorways that were black and gold. And
Nice.
I'm like,
well,
I see what you did there, Bandai.
the other thing is the reason why we did black and gold is Matt's having a solo show at Avenue of the Arts Gallery in downtown LA.
Oh, cool.
And if you like this small version, then maybe you should go to the show and see what he's going to have there.
Oh, I'm guessing there's a much bigger version.
I don't know, maybe.
Wow.
But I've seen pieces that are going to be at the show, and they look so cool. If you love Matt's stuff, then you got to go to the show. It's like incredible stuff.
Nice.
So, and he's going to be at Decon doing his Clean Break podcast.
Oh, that's right. I heard he does a podcast too.
Yes, he does.
I should talk to him. I would love to have him on ours.
I'm sure he'd love to have you on his.
Yeah, I'm
There
down.
you go. I think he's trying to get all the artists involved in that, in the little bear brick thing on his show.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh.
interesting.
Oh.
You know what? Before we I think we should kind of it'd be a shame if we didn't bring up 3D Retro. The last standing art toy store in Southern California. And,
What a fool I am.
but one of the first things that you notice when you are approaching this building are the murals.
Yes. Our
And
murals. Our
it-
wonderful, beautiful murals.
And it also kind of brings up to something that you post. I have not I'm really bad with Facebook, so I don't I'm not able to keep up with all the updates. But I know that the one I think I think at the corner.
Are you talking about the things that are happening with the city?
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So we have multiple murals.
You have a Matt Gondek. You got Buff Monster.
We got
you
Tristan
have
Eaton,
Tristan Eaton,
Pursue, Command Z.
Yeah.
And we have 2 murals right now. A lot of people don't know that 2 are under attack right now. They know about 1 is under attack.
Right.
And that's the Nychos one.
Right.
We have what is it, Centurion?
Right.
And,
Or Spartan or something.
Spartan. Beautiful piece.
Yeah.
And he did it on a wall, which we constantly got graffiti on that wall. I mean, literally, We had graffiti. The city would come out and clean it. 2 days later, graffiti again. City would come out. And every time we would have to pay for this. So we're like, how do we stop this? Well, the rules of the street are if there's a mural up, you can't touch it.
Unless you're Corey Helford Gallery.
Unless you're Corey Helford Gallery, which is really sad, actually.
Yeah, it's really sad.
So
What do they do?
They have
tagged.
their murals, like they've got like Ron English murals
And defaced murals, and they get defaced all the
haircuts.
time.
Yeah, and they're constantly defaced.
Oh, I
so,
see.
but we put up the Nichos mural, and the graffiti stopped, and it brought in a lot of people. People love the mural, and we didn't get it like initially approved by the city. We got like some other parts. We got like parts of the other of the building approved, but this one wall didn't happen to get approved. And the city, instead of being like, okay, look, we got everything else approved, they're kind of like doing I told you can't eat any cookies, and you ate a cookie, so guess what? No more cookies for you. So they're basically telling us that we have to take that mural down, and we're going to go to the city and try to convince them to let us keep it up.
So you can't have murals on your own building in this
Correct.
area?
Yeah.
Can you put murals on your own building everywhere else? I feel like in LA you
No,
can, right?
I think there's who knows?
Yeah.
But the other mural that's under attack is our Jason Naylor mural. And
Which one's that?
that's the one with the hearts and the rainbows and all that fun stuff that's on the electrical box on the other side of the alley. Literally, it's hearts and rainbows and like love and
Yeah.
like peace. And
it's on a signal box?
it's on an electric box.
Utility box?
No, it's actually our property.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah, but inside is like electricity for the building and things like that.
Right.
And the city's telling us that that's offensive and just bad. Like, we literally had somebody come up to us that lives in Burbank, but I guess parks his car here. And he said, like he is scared to walk to his car because
Of the hearts and the
because
rainbows.
of the hearts and the rainbows, because hearts and rainbows bring out the worst in people, and he's afraid like at night to walk
So
to his
he's
car.
a homophobe.
I don't know what he is, but
Oh.
but he.
Wow.
So right now we are actually facing 2 murals under attack by the city, and we were filing an appeal because they basically ruled, and you can go to Glendale TV.
So they
GTV.
did rule. They
They
did
ruled.
rule against it.
So Glendale doesn't know how to deal with murals, so what they do is they send us to what's called the Review Design Board, or Design Review Board, the DRB. And what they do is, usually this board, what they do is, when you're building a building, they have to review the design for the building. Glendale's never dealt with murals before, so they sent us to this, and they're like, okay, let's review the murals. And they basically, their complaint was like, it's not that we don't like murals, it's the fact that you put these murals up on places that we told you not to. So that's their argument. And our argument was like, look, that one, we thought that was approved. And the guy basically called me a liar and said, like, I told him, like, I really thought that wall was approved. It's next to all the other murals. There's another mural right around the corner from it. And he goes, I don't accept that. Like, clearly you're lying. I'm like, okay, fine. And then this mural, like I said, the wall wasn't approved at the time that we did the filings for the other one. So it kind of fell into that bucket of non-approved walls. But Nichos was in town from Austria, and we had a problem with graffiti. And we're like, will you do this? And he's like, of course I'll do this. And why would we say no? But the city doesn't care about that. So,
Gotcha.
so we're going to be going through that, and we're going to be asking for supporters to come out, especially if you live in Glendale. Please come out, and we'll tell you when we're going to be standing in front of the city council.
Wow.
And
in that case, the more people you can bring would probably help you, because I don't know how those meetings work. Can each person get 1
Yes.
minute to speak?
Every person, I think, gets 2 minutes.
Wow, it's even better. So what you do is if you can get like 50 people to come,
Yeah.
and all 50 get a 2-minute talk,
Yeah.
that's 100 minutes
Literally.
in your favor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. And it's literally just, and if you're a resident of Glendale, the
even
better.
Even better. Yeah,
Yeah.
because a very loud vocal minority can swing anything.
Yeah, but
I
we've
mean,
already
you know.
been warned that like one council member hates murals.
Yeah, but that one council member needs voters, right? So it's like one of
Yeah.
those things. You bring a loud minority of people who, they become anti that person. That it can grow like a virus, and that person could just become the bad guy
Yeah.
overnight.
I mean,
It happens.
We were
That's
lucky
really
enough
sad.
that Nicho's posted about it, and
Yeah.
like his post got over 300 comments and
Yeah.
almost 13,000 likes, and we were going to show that to the city and try to be like, look, this is what you guys are up against. Like, we maintain our murals. We coat them with UV coating, and we take care of them. We don't let them anything bad happen. Like, that's part of our agreement with the city. We maintain our murals, but like for some reason, well, you heard the reasons why. But
Yeah. Well, just gotta try to rally people if you can.
yeah, that's our
You
goal.
know, even yourself, Luke, should come. You can come and do
Yeah,
that as an artist.
anybody.
You're a stakeholder.
Look,
kind of as an artist. So,
We had somebody that lives in Burbank
sure.
come to the Glendale thing and complain about it, and they gave him his 2 minutes, and he got to complain. And
But as an artist, you work together. You actually have a stake, in my opinion. Like
Right.
you're
Yeah.
actually like important in this, and not just you, but other artists too.
Yeah.
Nathan Oda, all of them, all of the ones
Yeah.
that do stuff with you, technically are stakeholders here at this place. So
well, as soon as we
it
have a
matters.
date,
Yeah.
as soon as we have a date for that, we're gonna send an invite out, and we hope that we get a good amount of people coming to support us.
and
Yes,
and
yeah.
if you do come and support, you might get an exclusive, right? Oh, I don't know. I just added
Maybe.
that. I don't know.
Will there be punch and pie? Maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows?
there might be an exclusive in for you right there.
Punch and pie.
There
Punch
might
and
be
pie,
there might be
you know.
gift bags and all kinds of cool stuff.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
But,
But
you
yeah,
know-
thank you for bringing that up. Actually, that's important to us.
Yeah, and I just want to encourage people to come out to support 3D Retro.
Thank you.
It's a really, it's a lot of fun stuff inside there.
We try.
There's a lot of art to see around the building. So, it's kind of a destination,
We have a lot of locals come by our store, and especially families come in with their kids. There's a lot of the art toys, but there's, a good amount of like hard to find mainstream pop culture.
Oh, not Funko. Okay.
not Funko
Anyway,
Pop.
all right.
But yeah, it's
Well,
like
you do carry some pops.
we carry some, but
Picky about it.
Sure.
yeah, not nothing like some of the other stores out there.
And, you have a pretty active Instagram.
We do.
Like you guys do the Instagram TV thing.
Yeah, we do this just in with this just in.
Yep. I tune in whenever I get the notification.
Thank you.
Because I think it's funny.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. So
We have a good time.
it's basically a show where like when you get stuff, receive new inventory, you kind of
We show
roast-
it off.
Yeah.
Why not? Promote it a little bit.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've hit 2 hours.
Wow.
That's a little under actually.
Oh.
We can go though. No.
All right, we could go.
I believe I need to go home to my loving wife and kids. So. But I appreciate you guys doing this.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
it was a
no.
lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for being on
coming
the
out.
show.
I still
Yeah.
want to appeal to the small guys, the smallest vendors. Do collaborations with them too. Just keep them always in mind.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Because I like the fact that you did that with the Dunny series. That's awesome. So just in the future, I hope you can keep doing that.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. We will definitely keep
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that. So, yeah.
So how can people find you?
They can find us on Instagram and Facebook at DesignerCon and at 3D Retro. And if they want more information about the show, they can go to designercon.com. And if they want more information about the store, they can go to 3dretro.com.
Speaking of which, we are literally 1 month away from the show. Literally. Like, I think the show opens on November 22nd.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad we caught you.
You know what?
Because, between now and then.
Yeah, it's going to
But
be...
procrastinators, you still have time. You
Yeah.
have time.
Yeah, you get,
procrastinators.
people can still buy VIP passes.
They still can, yeah.
And
Yeah.
vendors, you could still do shit. You could still make something. You can still do it.
Yeah,
So,
I was literally putting in sticker orders yesterday.
See,
so
you have
know,
time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You want to sculpt something? You have time. Make some Sculpey. Go for it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yes.
You know? And if you don't have a booth, just freaking go out there like with a
Show up with a bag full of money and drop it off.
Or-
Support the scene.
and with a,
Yeah.
a handful of like small pins. Go out
Whatever.
there and pimp
Yeah.
yourself out.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
It's a
that's-
blast. You know?
It is probably my favorite convention.
Thank you.
Like it's
Probably?
Well, I mean, depends on what I'm looking for.
Okay.
If I'm looking for like sexy cosplay stuff, it's my
Oh,
least
wow.
favorite. But if I'm looking for a really enjoyable atmosphere,
Yeah.
lots of fun creative art stuff, which
and
is
it's not just a sausage party, is it?
it's
yeah, right.
not
Yeah,
a
there you go.
fucking sausage party at all.
Yeah.
That concert I went to with the polyrhythmic, Richard Devine stuff, that was a fucking sausage party.
Yeah.
But
No.
but Designer Con, not a sausage
Thank
party.
you.
Not at all.
We try. We try.
So, and there's going to be an art show. You said of Mark Hamill's voiceover work.
Yeah, the Hamilton art show will be there, and then we also have this year Beyond Eden coming to Designer Con.
Oh, you mean
yeah.
the anime?
No.
Beyond Eden.
It's the art thing.
the art show. So basically,
Oh yeah. The thing that
The thing that's not called Littletopia.
correct.
You're right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's the
think space.
original. Yeah, it's the original iteration of Littletopia, and we wanted to call it Littletopia, but then we went back and
I did not like that name.
No, well-
it's just not my favorite name. That's just a personal preference thing. But
well, now it's Beyond Eden now.
Okay.
And we got some great galleries coming this year.
Oh.
So this is our first year doing it, and we're going to see how it goes, and maybe the whole gallery should, because Littletopia is not coming back to LA Art Show.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep.
I heard
Yeah.
this. You know why? It's because LA Art Show kind of became Littletopia.
I don't know about that.
I don't. You know how much fucking figurative art you see all over that goddamn convention now.
I
Remember like 5 years ago, it was just contemporary art.
Yeah, it
contemporary
was all,
art,
like,
contemporary art,
fancy
and then
smancy.
this little fucking section of figurative art. And now you go walk around the entire goddamn con, and it is figurative art everywhere because Angelinos like figurative art.
we do.
Yes.
We do. We love it.
Born and bred here.
Yep. Yep. We love our beautiful people.
Well,
Yeah.
now you can get some of it at Decon too.
Nice.
Bring it.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that bringing in that gallery kind of art element
Yeah.
into the thing kind of helps round out what it is. Now we just need more apparel people, art people, toys people.
Well, extra large
and then
is-
you could go up to Complex Con and go fuck you.
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of that show.
Whoa.
And with that, thanks everyone for coming and joining and watching us.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I'm just speaking for everyone today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone. That's even worse.
Oh my
Way to
gosh.
go, Luke.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And we are out.
Yeah, they
We're
just
out.
cut the feed, I think.